Shiva Shiva Mahadeva Namah Shivaya Sada Shiva 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 Mahadeva Namah Shivaya Sada Shiva. The idea about a spiritual awakening is the concept of refinement. We are refining the essence of who we are. We are letting go of baggage, subconscious baggage, material baggage, psychological, emotional baggage, so that we can refine the essence of who we are and tune into the truth of what this being actually is, and the ability we have to connect with the source of all of creation right within our own heart. But there's so much chaos in the way. And the thing about a spiritual awakening is when we have an awakening, awakenings will always lead to moments of crisis. Spiritual crisis is when we come up against something that we cannot overcome, or so it seems. Stories as old as time. In order to advance, we have to accomplish the great task of being more to ourselves than we've ever been before, of creating a miracle within our own lives, of overcoming all odds. This is what it takes to be in the spiritual school of a Kundalini awakening, or a light worker, or someone who has come to this planet not to accumulate and gain and contribute to the delusions of fame and fortune, but rather someone who has come here to awaken others. But first we must awaken ourselves. And that awakening comes in gradual steps, and there's always more we can be awake to, especially within ourselves. And when we get to that place, those special moments, those are spiritual crises. And they don't feel fun or good or predictable or understandable. We just know we are at a place where we do not have the strength we thought we had, or the answers to overcome something that seems insurmountable, too complicated to ever overcome. And we may feel that we're on our own, because who can we talk to who's going through the same thing? People want to give us advice or want to tell us what to do because that's what they would do. But maybe they aren't where we are. And maybe we don't need to waste our time trying to explain ourselves. And in that place, we want to be careful not to get overcome by a feeling of isolation or being misunderstood or feeling all alone or being cursed. Because the truth is, it's a blessing. And it is painful to let go, especially when what we're letting go of has got a deep hold on our unconscious mind. Consciously, we don't feel we're holding on, but unconsciously, we have all these trauma responses, all these survival techniques that have kept us going up to this point. And now we have to redo everything in our lives and become a whole, entirely new person with only our own experience to go on. And that's why we start looking for mentors or teachers or reading the advice of the saints. Why we start praying and trying to tune in to the divine energy that is everywhere. But when we are in that crisis, oftentimes our mind gets muddled and we don't feel we're able to tune in and use our intuition so that we can know what to do to move forward. But it is at those times of spiritual crisis, whether our body is changing or things in our life are just falling apart, or emotionally we're facing some really intense, deep-rooted emotions that won't go away no matter what we do, or our mind is just going in looping and we cannot make sense of all of our thoughts and we won't let go and we can't stop and we want to, but it's not happening, and everything we're trying and grasping at isn't working. So the most important thing we can do in the midst of a spiritual crisis is just to find a place, any place, to be alone and to settle down. And just to be with ourselves and our breath. however you're feeling, find a place to be alone so that you can slow down. When we are able to slow ourselves down, it just takes a little bit of time. Start practicing deep breathing. Start paying attention to your breath. Start letting everything become still and tune in to the presence that is beyond your personality, that is beyond mental concepts of how we should be, what we should be doing, how we should feel, how we should think, what we should have to be a spiritual person, how we should be acting. Let all of that go, because that is the prison that is holding us in this crisis. The crisis is made by us. We are creating the crisis because of the attachment to our personality, which is no more real than the concepts we're holding on to about who we think we need to be. And when we can tune into the presence that's beyond the personality or the concept or the belief system or everyone else's ideas about who we need to be, we can settle down and feel the truth that is always available to us. And just tune into that energy that is beyond a thought, beyond a judgment, beyond a face or a person or a crisis, that is just there, the presence. And just keep coming back to the presence, the moment, the presence. And when we're able to keep doing that, that's all we need to practice, is practice the presence. And the more we can come back to the presence and feel that within ourselves, the closer we can get to finding the least painful or stressful way forward out of the crisis that we found ourselves in, so that we can yet once again expand who we are, which is what this is about. It's about embracing the infinite possibilities of who we are, and the pain is caused by something about us that we're holding on to that brings us to the spiritual crisis. And our defenses kick in, and our survival mechanisms kick in, and everything we don't need anymore kicks in, and we cause trouble for ourselves, and we feel a lot of pain and confusion. And that pain and confusion is totally fine, but just let it be in the presence. And identify yourself with that presence. And observe yourself from that place of presence in this crisis. And all of our acting out, and all of our panicking, and all of our fear-based behavior, and all of our grief, and all of our hope. It's all mixed up in that place. But in the presence, we can embrace and accept it all. And that will allow us to tune into our intuition and tune into that Kundalini energy within our body that is just stirring it all up and giving us so much energy to work with, for better or for worse. So when we get spun out with all that energy, we can go off for quite a while, and we can cause lots of trouble for ourselves. Those crises can create more crises. And so we want to remember that all you need to do is just be still. This is nothing formal. This is just find a quiet place to be still. Let go of the thoughts. Don't even engage them. All the crazy circles in our head, let them go. Just let them go. Just let your mind be free for a minute. And just feel your feelings. Let your mind be free and feel the way your body feels in the present moment, and feel the power of the divine within you in this present moment. More and more, slowing down. And don't grasp for answers, just be in the moment. And when we can practice the presence, we will spontaneously do the right thing, because we will be in the flow. When we get all jumbled up inside, and when we start acting out and grasping, it's because due to fear and due to things beyond our conscious control, we are being reactive to things being pushed on and triggered within us. And it spins us out and creates further complications. And life is really just asking us to advance ourselves and refine ourselves and find new answers for the problems we face. Even when it feels like there is no answer, because I get it. There is always an answer, because nothing outside of us will solve the problem, even though it feels like it might. In the end, we only have ourselves. And who is ourself is the question here. Who ourself is deeply rooted in the present moment, in the presence beyond time and space, beyond name, fame, fortune, form, beyond any difficulties, beyond any mistakes, beyond any judgments. It's just who we are right now. And if we're able to truly embrace the totality of that and be with that being and tune that being that is in this crisis, that is making these profound spiritual breakthroughs, tune that being back into the presence of the moment and feel the weight and the light and the power of that presence that is always there all the time, within us and around us and everywhere. And yet we're always so caught in our thoughts and our grasping and our senses. We think we're experiencing reality, but we aren't experiencing reality. We're caught in a delusion of Maya. The reality is the presence. The reality is that it isn't a crisis. It's all just okay. And that's sometimes impossible to imagine how that could be so. But when you get still enough to be in the presence of the eternal, which is the source of who we are, which is where we're going to return to. This is what a spiritual awakening is for. The return to the eternal nature. The return to the unblemished light. The return to love without question. This is where we're going. And it can be a wobbly road. But just keep coming back and refining your energy and expanding your aura and opening your heart and cleansing the pain of the past and the judgments and all the guilt and all the fear, letting it go, letting it come up and letting it go. Not projecting onto other people, not expecting anyone or anything out there to fulfill us, but just saying, okay, I'm going to be here with this. This is the answer. And the answer seems too easy. But right here, right now, there is peace and joy and love and healing no matter what's happening. And it's always available to us if we're able to access it. So let go of the chaos that we may be experiencing due to a panic in a crisis, or other people, or all these imaginary fears, and this projection into the future and this clinging to the past, and just come back to the power of your breath and the power of the moment and the power of your body and the faith in your connection to the divine, that we created all of this, that this is all our doing, and we are all learning and growing and trying to understand what to hold on to and what to let go of. The only thing we need to hold on to is one breath at a time, letting go with every exhale, one breath at a time. Moment by moment, we move forward, and whatever comes up, we don't hold on, we don't resist, we don't become rejecting of anything about ourselves. We just accept. Over and over again, acceptance, refinement, and tuning in to the power of the presence of God. This is all we need. The answer to a spiritual crisis is to come back to the presence. And this is not a big thing I'm saying. This is a huge deal. because the presence can be felt. More than anything, the presence can be felt. When you open your heart to God and listen to the presence, and you will hear the answers in the silence. Om Namah Shivaya.